Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. Ladies, gentlemen. I don't know how it goes, Pat. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Okay, damn. Dude, I totally lost
Got
it.
this, man.
I'm
It's
telling
one
you.
of your first shows.
I'm stroking out, man. I'm stroking out. Holy Christ. Okay. Here we go. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 121 of the... Oh, my God. Holy Christ. Okay, give me a second.
I'm about to do it in a second.
Holy shit, Pat. What just happened? Okay, here we go. We'll get it. This happens sometimes. You weren't ever really around for these days. You never saw this side of me just fucking up over and over again.
Well, because I was the host and I never made mistakes. So.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 122.
We're going. Bobby is a time traveler.
Here we go. All right, here we go. Woo. Okay. We got some stuff to people to laugh at the start of the show. So okay. Yep. Oh boy, come on, get your head out of your butt.
121 okay. Nintendo Talk.
Okay. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 121 of Nintendo Talk. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the most handsome man in all the land, Mr. Patrick McNamara, Mr. NintenTalk himself. What is up, my dude?
Bobby. I'm doing good, man.
Man, at least I got through that.
That was the first take.
Oh, yeah, first take, bang. Yeah, like, okay. Yeah. Wow, I haven't done that in so long. So long. And the crazy thing is, like, I do all these live episodes. Mm-hmm. That's where you would expect me to like just totally flub, but it's like the minute I click to go for the live shows, it's just like butter. But like I don't know why. And then I get to a recorded episode, and it's like and I can't get it out. You know?
You do great on live. Like we never have hiccups.
No, we don't have hiccups. Maybe we should just record everything at live and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Listen, let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs.
Geeking out.
Are we geeking out about the same thing, Pat? The same thing?
It's Animal Crossing, let's face it.
Come on, man.
It's an amazing game.
People might get tired of hearing about this Geek Out, but dude, it is.
I will put a spin on it, though.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Throw your spin.
So, I've been playing it like crazy, and obviously with the whole, like, stay inside, my girlfriend's here with me. So, she's seen me play this game, and she's kind of looking at the screen, whatever. She's going on her way. She'll come back. She'll be like, and she looked at me. She's like, don't you get tired of this? Like, don't you get tired of catching bugs and catching fish? Like, how is this fun? Mm-hmm. So she walks away. Days go by. Today finally was the breakthrough, Bobby. So she's sitting down and she's like, well, what's that do? And I'm like, what's that do? She's getting into it, dude. She's researching bugs and stuff.
Oh, here we go.
But I will say the one thing she said, well, can I start an island? And I was like, you can't. I don't.
You could be like, yeah, you can go buy a Switch.
Yeah. It's still weird to me, but I mean, It is what it is. But yeah, she's like into it. She loves it, man.
It's good stuff, man. It really is. Dude, it's, man, I find new stuff to do daily. Like, it's weird because I want to start decorating, but I kind of hold myself back. It's like, I get these ideas of like, and I'm kind of like prepping certain things. And like I built a water fountain in front of my my town hall, and then I built my
like the big fountain.
Yeah, the water fountain in the front. Yeah, the big one.
Yep.
And then I built the lighthouse off to the side, right? So I'm kind of prepping in my head like how things are gonna kind of. So if I see big items that immediately stand out to me, like gotta have that, gotta do that. But what I started doing yesterday was I started buying street lights and clocks, like city clocks, like it would be like on a on a pole like the
Yep.
old-fashioned type clocks. I started buying them, and I figured every day I'm going to buy a street light because I know that as I start to lay my paths, it's going to be cool just to have to drop them
Yeah.
sporadically. And you know what's going to happen is I'm going to want them when it's time to start building, and I'm not going to be able to afford. Like I'm not going to. It isn't that. It's you only get so many a day. So it's
Because
like,
the Nook Mile shop or whatever, it kind of is the same now. Like you're seeing
yeah,
like the giant robots and the lighthouse and stuff. So there's that one thing in there. It's like kind of like a koi pond looking thing. And I bought that, and dude, like a corner of my island is like a bamboo like paradise now. It's awesome.
But it's like I would rather take little things like those moments, like
Yeah.
grab little things and make it happen and slowly build than like force myself to build each day to try to keep up with the Joneses. Like I would rather make it look really spectacular later.
Like the inside of my house right now is trash. It's like
Yeah, I don't even have, dude. I don't even have. It's weird. My house normally is really well put together at this point, but there's so much to do in this game that I feel separated. Like I feel like some separation in what I'm doing. I'm to the point where I'm actually putting people in houses. So I'm actually plotting and dropping. Like I'm going to Nook. I give him like 10,000 bells, and then he gives me a construction kit, and I go and I drop it someplace. And I have 3 houses ready to go.
Oh wow!
So
I did one of those.
Yeah, I did 3 because this way, if people move in, this way, if I go to an island, I see a character I want, I can ask them, boom, come back. Because I learned the hard way. If you ask a character and you don't have the land set up, they won't. They'll refuse you. They'll say, "Oh, ask me next time."
Wow.
And it's like, oh, dude. And if you really want that character, you better have it ready to go.
I got cheddar today.
Nah, he's a joke. That's the mouse, right?
Yeah. Looks like cheese, yeah.
He's a joke. He's a joke.
I got some like white horse today.
It's not even cheddar. It's chatter, isn't it?
Chatter, yeah.
I got rid. He was following me around. I said, no, you go away. You go the other way, bro. We don't live that life over here. We don't have people like you on these parts. But yeah, man, I'm still. I caught a blue marlin and a tuna last night.
Nice.
So like I was streaming and I was like, okay, this is my mission tonight. My mission is to catch these 2, and I caught them. Last week I caught the stringfish. Because the stringfish and the emperor butterfly are. Well, the emperor butterfly is, I think a lot of people have it, but that's the bug that's leaving. The stringfish is leaving, and a lot of people are struggling to find the stringfish.
Oh, I got one. Put it in the museum. Bam.
Yeah.
Today I took one of those random island tours. All hybrids everywhere. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did it random, and I went to a random island last night. All tarantulas.
I saw Joe after work doing that on stream. Dude, he's a maniac.
Well, that you can glitch it to.
You can force it, yeah.
You can force it, yeah. And and it's not necessarily. I mean, I guess you could call it glitching it, but it's kind of like you're just taking
like force spawning.
You're force spawning. You're forcing it to spawn that. But the weird thing is, after about like 30 minutes, it changed, and this weird bug kept coming out, and I couldn't get them to come back out after that. So I left. Still made like 100,000 bells, but it was crazy. But I went to the legitimate one that has the moat around it, which is just madness. They like literally just cheat, and they keep spawning and spawning and spawning. It's nuts, dude.
I found the money island where it's like there's a money and a bunch of the rocks. Yeah,
I got that too. That was a good one. That was a good island to get. Yeah, there's some cool little. It's weird because when you get these good islands, when you get the basic ones, they're kind of annoying.
I wish there was more variety.
It feels like there's a lot of repetition. Like they tried to say like, oh, you'll never go to the same island. Nah, we're hitting the same islands already. Yeah, I really thought there'd be like hundreds of islands that it'd be forever before you even like come across the same one. It's not that way. You're getting them pretty quickly. You're getting them pretty quick. So, okay, so let's jump into the first topic that we have tonight or today, and that is Nintendo. Man, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. We've been kind of calling this to some degree that. Were they going to do something? Were they not going to do something? And they did. They pulled the trigger, and they went to Sony and was like, take it down. We're talking about Mario in Dreams. they basically reached out to Sony first and asked Sony to step in. And I guess Sony said no. And they were like, no, we're not going to do anything. And then Nintendo got the lawyers involved. So it's pretty crazy. I don't think it's out of line, but like, what's your take on it? Do you know?
So we were talking about this, and our conclusion was they have to step in, but we don't know how. And so I guess they tried to be civil and go to Sony, but Sony doesn't want to be the one. Like, Sony doesn't want to be the one to take levels down. They would rather be forced to, so they look like the good guys still.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with this is Dreams, I think, personally, is going to become a marketplace of games because there's some talented people making, like, full-fledged games. And I think the plan is to sell these games on the Dream marketplace. So I wouldn't be surprised. Dreams isn't free, right?
You got to pay for it. You got to pay for it, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being free because I think it's going to turn into like a marketplace type thing. So before that even happens, Nintendo did the right thing.
Yeah.
Don't try and rip off Nintendo games. It's happened so many times.
It's never going to work out for you. It's never going to work out for you.
No.
It's so Sony is going after Dreams creations that use Nintendo IP at the request of Nintendo. So Sony is kind of stepping in now and going about it, but it's the thing is like there was a lot of other IP in this thing.
Sonic.
And there was Bob's Burger or whatever. Someone did a Bob's Burger game, and so there's a lot of stuff.
Park
there's a lot of stuff that like, and I think you're going to see these other companies step in or you're going to see where Sony just steps in and goes, "Okay, guys, you can't do this no more."
Yeah,
because it's weird because you want to go like, oh, this should be okay. And to some degree, it should be okay. But I think we talked about this before where if Nintendo does not step in and something gets created and then it's something really good and then someone else goes, well, I'm going to make a fan-created game. Mm-hmm. And then Nintendo actually tries to stop it, right? And now they have precedence. Like when they go to court, they can go, well, they never took them down. Why'd they take them down and not take us down? Yeah. So that's why Nintendo is so strict, because with video games, the laws are so janky in terms of like, you could have an identical game. Like, it doesn't matter if the characters look alike and all that stuff, but if there's just one or two things in the mechanics that are just a little different, that you can't sue somebody over it. It's so weird. Like
the thing is, though, these games are literally saying like Mario and Sonic and things like that. They're not even trying. No. I mean, they shouldn't try to hide it, but
it's weird because like then you have on the Mario side, right? On the Nintendo side, like so what happens now where if people start scanning into Animal Crossing? Like you can scan in with the QR codes, different logos and different stuff like that. So now what happens when that starts happening? Does Sony go to Nintendo and go, hey, start taking down all this stuff that has Sony in it?
I think the thing is it's customizing. So I think that's the loophole there.
Yeah.
I think, the ability to draw anything
it's not necessarily making a game. So I guess that's where there's a difference. But it does make you wonder, like, it's no different than Mario Maker when people would make like levels based on certain games, so it would feel that way.
The thing is, like, Nintendo lives and dies by their IP. So if they feel threatened at all, like, they're losing share on that. Like, you can't put a Nintendo game on Sony. Like, that's what's keeping Nintendo. That's what's kept them afloat is their games, their IPs. So I can see. What's that?
I think the main thing what they're worried about too is, let's be honest, it's not a Mario game. It don't control like a Mario game. It don't play like a Mario game. And I think what Nintendo's worried about is if that is somebody's first Mario.
Oh yeah,
you got problems.
Like, what the hell is this mess?
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's like if it does one or two things. If it puts a bad taste in someone's mouth, or if someone's like, oh, this is really cool, I like it, and then they go get a Mario game, and then they're like, nah, I don't want it no more, because this is trash. Yeah. This is not how it controls or anything. So I think there's definitely obviously a situation where Nintendo has to step in my opinion, and do something. You may not agree with it, and that's you're entitled to your opinion, but I really believe this is going to be something that they're going to continue to do. They're going to just always do, and it's just the way it is.
And dreams could be a flop, and this could all mean nothing, but it could be the next biggest thing. So
Well, it's
they
pretty
just
big
want to
right
protect
now.
themselves. Yeah.
It's doing pretty good right now. Sony fans seem to be pretty happy with it. So I can't see it being a flop per se, but
Yeah.
you never know. You never know.
So
The next thing I want to talk about with you, Pat, is we got finally a little taste of what Nintendo has in store for us. We got a Nintendo Direct Mini, and I laugh because the internet kind of lost their minds. Like, what exactly is a mini? What does a mini mean?
this is what 28 minutes long.
Because it was longer, but it was basically no first party stuff in the game or in the thing. But they're not first party. Like I'm talking like. They're developed by Nintendo, but they're not, or they're published by Nintendo, but they're not made by Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Like you have, like ARMS is in there, but that's like
Clubhouse Games. I thought was Nintendo.
Was it? Okay, disregard everything I just said then.
So that and Good Job was made by Nintendo.
Okay, well then I'm wrong. I'm absolutely wrong.
But those two, that's it.
Yeah. So, but it's it's just a bite-sized overall with everything. Let's just kick it off, man. I was floored by Xenoblade Chronicles. I really was. It looks phenomenal, man. I watched today a Game Explain video where they showed side by side both the original and the Switch version, and holy cow. Like, it is night and day. Like, they went to work on this game. It's amazing.
And there's new content, which is total left field.
Yeah.
Like, I will admit this isn't my favorite. I mean, I'm not a big Xenoblade. I only like X, to be completely honest, just because it adds in the mechs. And I thought, when the Wii U, we were kind of scratching for games, and to see like this big game come out. So, but what did you think over? I mean, you were floored. I was okay. I was
floored by that because here's the thing: I played the original, so for me, I know what the original looked like. It felt.
I'm talking overall.
Oh, for the overall today. I think overall, I thought it was good. Yeah. I don't think it was a grand slam. I don't think it was anything massive. I thought it was exactly what Nintendo needed to put out. It was very good. I was very happy with it overall.
It was good. I mean, the next couple months we kind of have what's coming out.
Yeah.
Some of the standouts, I guess, we'll go over. I mean, first of all, the Animal Crossing stuff looks great. Bunny Day. Yeah. I feel like they kind of spoiled it a little bit.
Not really. I mean, they showed us what we could do and what it's all about, and I like it. I like Bunny Day. I like, I like that they're actually doing stuff that's going to be for the outside of the house. See, that's the thing.
That's true.
Is everything was always done for inside the houses. Like you would get furniture for inside the houses.
Yeah.
What I like is they're making stuff that could be like, hey, you could have Easter in your town all year long, and it's like they're doing these really cool little things with this. Because think about it, when people decorate for Easter, it's typically outside in the yard. They put eggs around, they hide eggs. Yep. You might have like cardboard cutouts of or whatever, like these little figures of like rabbits and stuff. And so I think it's kind of a unique situation what they're doing. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
So if you had to answer this, so like, do you think this year's Bunny Day is going to be the same as next year's?
I don't know, man. I really don't know because it's weird because they also showed an update coming again. There's two updates in April. One was for Bunny Day at the beginning of the month, and the other one was midway through for Earth Day with Leaf.
Earth Day, yep.
And so it makes me go, man, is this going to be a thing where they just continue to update? Because I've said this numerous times before, but this is the same, part of this team is the same team that worked on Splatoon, and this is their wheelhouse. This is what they do. They do updates like this. So could they have turned around and went to the big dogs and were like, hey, we want to treat this like Splatoon. We want to slow roll this out and keep people interested in buying it and new reasons to bring people in and pull it in. Because think about it. What they're getting ready to do, this is the most talked about game on the internet right now. What they're about to do is going to slow roll them straight through the year. Where every time we get a new update, it's going to be like Smash. Yeah. Where like people are flipping out and they're showing off new stuff. And it's like, oh, I can't wait to get this and this. Dude, they are handling this game to perfection.
It's great. I personally think that they're going to like all the holidays are going to be updates, and then just to prevent time travel and spoiling and
Yeah,
stuff, and then from there it's going to be like you can time travel to
yeah.
any holiday. But that was cool. That was cool. Xenoblade.
What about Borderlands and Bioshock?
See, this is where like I feel like this was a big part of why people like this direct.
Mm-hmm.
For me, these older ports don't really like Burnout Paradise. Perfect example. I would love to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $3.99 on the PS4 and Xbox. Like
Yeah.
it. I mean, these just don't have a bigger like Saints Row and stuff like that.
But you also have to think. There's a lot of people that just got a Switch. There's a lot of people that are getting a Switch, and there's a lot of people that only buy Nintendo stuff. So, in a situation like I can't mess with Borderlands. I can't mess with Bioshock. They're both first person games.
Yeah.
I will be.
Those are big gets though.
Yeah, but they're big names to get. But the problem I have is it's done by 2K, and 2K is very hit or miss when it comes to porting. Like anybody
EA
want to
is
play
Burnout.
Anybody want to play WWE 2K? I mean,
like EA finally put out an EA game other than whatever they've been doing. Burnout.
Yeah.
Like that's a great sign. What was the other one? Oh, Marvel got an update.
Yeah,
I didn't buy that, but that.
Yeah, I have that game. I have that game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
I like to see that they're adding content and doing stuff. Dude, Clubhouse games to me, that's the one that got me excited, man. Because I was just like, this is kind of cool. Like, don't get me wrong, we can play these games, whatever. But the fact we have 51 board games built into this thing, and dude, it's a lot of games. And the fact that some are online, some are not.
$40, which is good.
It's exciting,
Perfect.
man. It's exciting.
Well, like the table baseball, table soccer. You had man. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
I think that was a good one too. For you probably won't care about this one, but for me, Bravely Default 2.
Looks good.
Got me hyped, man. I love the first Bravely Default. Mm-hmm. Didn't so much like Bravely Second, but I liked Bravely Default, the first one. It got a little long in the tooth because they made you go back and start re-grinding and redoing a lot of stuff you had already done.
Yep.
I don't like when they make you backtrack like that. They basically made you go back and refight everybody you fought the first time through, and it was just like, oh, did I just do this? Like, so that was it. Kind of took a game that was probably 60, 70 hours and pushed it to over 100 hours because of that aspect. So I hope they don't get into that with this one. But man, I really did enjoy the first one. I thought the first one had this unique aspect of like, this was crazy. You know how like in some fighting or some RPGs, like when you cast a spell and you bring this like demon out to attack, what would happen is they utilize Street Pass in the 3DS, and when you Street Passed people, you could take their characters and their characters would form in, and what you would do is every time you had like a really strong move, you could take that and make that your preset move that would go over. So now if I pass you and you had this really spectacular default move, I could use you to just go in and tear into a beast. And then
there's a demo out for this game as well.
Yeah, there's a demo out for it. So I thought that was such an ingenious thing. And you could also become friends with people, and you would once a day get their move. And like if they so now you're friends with them, and if they're updating the moves daily, your beast or whatever, your default character is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That was such an ingenious thing that they did. So I don't know if they do that here. I don't know how they do that here, but if they do, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So Clubhouse, obviously, I liked that. Mr. Driller, that was kind of a cool little thing. That was on like the 3. I liked Mr. Driller. Ninjala.
Okay.
Here's the game.
So I played this at E3 a couple years ago. Okay. And that's the year that Nintendo actually showed it off at E3.
It looks different.
It looks a little different, meaning they added a lot of weapons. Because when I played, there was only like one weapon you could play and use. And they only had one level you could play in at that time. But at that time, they never talked free to play at all.
That's a good move.
This is taking Fortnite to a new level. Like, this is what we've talked about with Splatoon. Like, man, if you make Splatoon like this, where it's a kind of a free to play, and you can buy custom skins and all that stuff, and do different things, dress your characters up. Like, we've all seen the models of Link as an Inkling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I would pay you $20 for that character.
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? So, like, that's the thing that Nintendo should look into doing in the future with Splatoon. But that aside, this is what I think they're going for with this game. And
Yep.
it's kind of cool, man. It's a 4v4. You're running around. You're trying to collect the most stuff. Like, it's
Looks exactly like Splatoon style wise. Like,
it does. That's what
great.
when Jules and I went. It's crazy thing is I think it's Gung Ho Games is the name of the company, and they had this gigantic set, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like you were in Splatoon. And the weird thing is their booth was right next to Nintendo's booth, so you thought it was Nintendo, but it wasn't. It wasn't Nintendo. It's a totally different company. So
I could have definitely seen Nintendo making something like this.
Oh, dude, it's a fun game. Like, we played for 3-4 minutes, and we were just like, dude, this is fun. Like, we walked away, me and Jules, and we had a couple other people with us waiting in line, and we were just like, dude, this is actually really good.
I'm jumping on this. Yeah. Free to play, 4v4.
Yeah.
It's good.
The worst part about this Direct was, holy crap, everything's coming out on the 29th of May.
Or everything already dropped. There was a lot of
stuff that was dropping. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was dropping that day, but, like, there's so many games that are coming out.
Yeah.
That I thought, like, they're going to be announcing stuff further down the line, but I definitely didn't expect Xenoblade Chronicles to be the 29th of May. I thought that was going to be, like, a December game.
That's pretty cool. Minecraft Dungeons looks good.
It does. It does.
Are you into that kind of stuff? Oh, yeah, like you got Diablo.
I played Diablo. Yeah. So I think this would be fun because it's a different thing.
Yep.
You know, Sean and I were talking about it. He's like, I wonder if it's going to be crossplay. And if it is, then I think you bring in a whole...
I think it will.
Yeah, I think it will too. And I think it brings in a whole other audience because of the fact of, like, hey, man, if we can all play together,
yep.
we're all jamming on it, man, dude, it'd be a blast.
And then two more things. Ring Fit with the new, like...
That was kind of cool.
I think that's genius, dude. Yeah, the rhythm mode.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really good. I liked the music. I liked the rhythm mode. I could see Joe have to work on crazy with this thing. Like, he liked Ring Fit and he likes rhythm games, so he's like...
I want to get Ring Fit. I've been waiting for a price drop, but it'll never happen.
Well, never happened, but not only that, you can't get them.
Yeah, they're like sold out everywhere. And then finally, Smash was a very weird Smash announcement. They just said, oh yeah, an ARMS character.
Well,
weird.
This does a couple things. One, it takes away that notion anymore that they won't bring an assist character in.
Yeah.
Isn't Springman like an assist trophy or something?
Springman's an assist trophy, yeah.
So this takes away that nonsense. So I think it basically says, like, hey, you're an assist trophy, you're not locked in, which makes me
Who do you personally think should be the character, though? You think it should be Springman?
I think either Springman or... man.
You know what they should have done is do a vote. I think the community should have decided this one.
Well, maybe they are because they're also doing an event. And maybe they're going to look at it and go, whatever character gets played the most or used the most in this event, we're going to use him.
I would like to see Ribbon Girl. I think she'd be a good one.
Who's the big guy? There's a big...
Master Mummy?
Yes, he's a good character, man.
Yep. Min I like. Helix.
Dude, they're all good, really.
They're
all really good characters.
Except that clown. Get out of here.
But what if they did, like, multiple? Like, they could do multiples, you know what I mean? Where you basically have the character, and then there's just, like, what do they call them? The
alternate skins or something?
Well, I forget the actual name they use for them, but they have it's alternates where you have, like, multiple characters.
Oh, like the shadow characters or whatever the hell they're... Yeah,
I forget the name. The mirror or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they utilize that and, like, you basically, let's just say, like, but man, I want that amiibo.
Oh my God, he's going to be amiibos? Yes.
Like, come on, dude.
ARMS, baby.
Are you kidding me?
I love ARMS. I personally think they should be like, here are the ARMS characters. Mm-hmm. You guys choose. That'd be so great.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome.
Then people would be like, all right, let's check out this game, which brings us to our next point because they put out a demo.
Let's jump into that. So let's jump into your topic now.
So my topic with all this ARMS talk, I wanted to know what is the future of ARMS, if it does have a future, if it stops as just a Smash character, but now we're gonna get an amiibo. Bobby
Yeah.
just told me that.
Well, you know that's gonna happen.
DLC character for Smash, free demo, which by the way is a full game trial. It's not just like play a few stages. It's a full game for I think it's like 10 days. It's like either 7 to 10 days. I gotta ask you, Bobby, are we done with ARMS? Are we seeing more ARMS? ARMS got the shaft the first time around.
It definitely did. It definitely got the shaft, but it did a couple million copies. Like it sold a couple million units. That kind of had the benefit of there was nothing out at that time. So it was just like one of those things of like, this thing's going to sell because of that. But the timing was horrendous because it came out on the tail end of, when it came out, like Splatoon was out a month later.
Yeah.
And that was the worst place to put that. They actually should have moved that game to like December or January of 2018. I think. Like December of 2017 or January of 2018. That would have been the ideal thing to do in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they also screwed up because they tried to take that Splatoon tactic of the slow roll of characters and levels and stages and all that
And
stuff.
it wasn't as effective. They didn't make it a big deal.
Well,
it wasn't like
because you're starting out with a weak, you're not a full game. People got upset already with doing that with Splatoon. I didn't mind it because I was like, dude, they're going to steady flow this content. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But this game was a little different, and they also stopped pretty quick. Like, they only did a couple of characters, and they only did a couple of maps or whatever stages, and that was it, and they were done. So I think that it's not as cohesive in my mind. Like, I don't think that this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
For me, I just think it's a mistake. I think that when you look at it, grand scheme, big picture, like that was not a good move for ARMS. That being said, the fact that it still sold well. And it was a fun game.
They're still talking about it.
Yes, and I think, this is my opinion, the fact that they're putting Smash in there, right? Or they're putting it in Smash, they're putting a character in Smash, I think that bodes well for this franchise. I think they look at this and they go, okay, we're going to put the character in Smash, we're going to give the free demo, let's see how it does round 2. Let's see if more people buy it and do it and go after it.
That could be a good name, Bobby. ARMS round 2. I like it.
But I think it deserves a second shot. I think if they come back, they stack the content where they go, okay, we're going to add characters in 6 months. We're going to have fighters coming in 6 months. But right now, here's 12 characters. Here's some stages. Go have fun. Then you can get away with that, like adding stuff later on. Or treat it like true DLC. Where you go, okay, here's 15 characters. They're in the game. Here's 15 stages. Here you go. Because Pat, you agree with this, the statement I'm about to make. It was the best online, lobby in all of.
By far.
It was amazing.
I liked spectating.
Yeah.
I remember early on when I was still streaming, we had a full lobby, and it was like, okay, for example, like Bobby and Joey are fighting, and I want to see, like, you could see where they're at, their health gauge. It was like you were like someone in the audience. It was great.
And they use like pogs, and you would watch the pogs flow around, and it was cool. I thought it was really amazing how they handled it. And for me personally, also they also did like the basketball game. That was kind of cool. And
I think they need to expand on that. Have like a whole sports section if you can. If it makes sense.
So they
like
had volleyball too, right? They had volleyball and basketball.
Yep. So I think they need to. I think ARMS round 2. I'm going with that. They need to come out, have a stacked lineup, not anything crazy like Smash, but like the full. If you turn on the game now, the roster looks pretty good. Because they added like 4 or 5 characters or whatever. Have a good sized roster. Make a big deal out of new characters coming. And I also think one of the weaker things was, what was it? It wasn't Splatfest. It was like, they did something else. It was like a tournament.
It was a tournament they did. It was similar to Splatfest, but it was 2 characters versus each other.
Yeah. They need to do something with that, too.
I liked it, though. You know what I mean? Like, I like the idea of those tournaments. My problem was, man, I made the mistake of getting into a lobby one time with Jason Lacey. It was me, Sean Capri, Jason Lacey, Josue Ponce, and I think Brendan Myers. Dude, I got beat so freaking bad. Like, the crazy thing was the week before, Sean and I played, and we fell in love with this game, right? And we were
I
like,
love it.
dude, and we bought the game. Something happened, and neither of us could touch it for a week. And then we went back and we played this one night, and I got beat so bad, I literally went and traded the game in the next day. I was like,
Wow.
I'm done. I can't play this game. But that being said, I'm gonna play the demo again
Mhm.
and see if it moves the needle. And if it does, I might buy it because I've been getting the itch to play this game again.
Yeah.
Like I've been getting this
I
thing. Like,
personally
I want to
think
check it out.
I personally think they should have slashed the price in half for right now.
Yeah.
Like slash it in half, $29.99. The interesting thing is Nintendo like old enough to realize like should they make ARMS 2 $29.99 as well? It's an online experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a like I feel like the review score would have been better. The overall like opinion of this game would have been better if the price was just lower maybe cuz like full $60 game. I still have this bad taste in my mouth from Kirby Star Allies. That should be a budget game. $39.99. That should be a budget game. But ARMS, you make it cheap. You get the user base way up, and you're not taking a loss. Like this game will sell millions.
Well, if they would have done that, I think people wouldn't have been as so uptight and so upset when the time came that like, hey, this game ships and there's like only 5-6 characters in it.
Yeah,
Like, that's a hard pill to swallow. And then the next week was like what twin Ellas, twin Dellas, whatever.
Twintel,
Twintel.
Queen of Booty.
Yeah.
Make it a budget game because you want to make consumers think like this is a no-brainer buying this. $29.99. I'm surprised they didn't make this the first Nintendo Select, the first ARMS.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? But I think that overall, this is definitely something that they can get into, and I'd be okay with it.
We're gonna see more ARMS, baby.
I think so. And then
All right.
Else we got?
And to finish it off, I think Animal Crossing is out right now. It's the big game, and we were just talking about the mini direct a little bit, and there wasn't really a big game. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles is a remake, and for me, remakes, ports, they don't count as like the big game. So we've talked about predictions of Breath of the Wild and things like that. What is the big game left for this year, or is there one?
Man, I think it's hard. It's hard to say. I can't fathom what in the world they could hit us with that we don't see coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way they make this year a spectacular year. Like,
because even if they do make an ARMS 2, that's not the big game.
No, and I don't think ARMS 2 would hit this year anyway. I think ARMS 2 would probably hit, early next year.
Yeah.
I don't think that they want to do what they've done in the past. If they're smart, they'll put ARMS out in the beginning of the year where it kind of has room to breathe and can kind of like marinate and get its own thunder running on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, I could see us getting Mario Golf, but I could see that probably this summer or fall. The only thing that I could think is the only things I am thinking in my mind are either a 2-pack Zelda HD remakes, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, or Mario 3D World. Like, they're the only things that can come to mind and make me go like, this is basically where they're going. I just, for the life of me, can't. I mean, even like a Metroid Prime trilogy, but like I just don't see what they could hit us with to make us go, this is a massive game. Like my mind is blank. I mean, I know that like, typical me would be like, oh, I want Punch Out, I want Kid Icarus. I just don't think those games are ready.
No.
And for them to just be like, okay, here it is, I just don't see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I got to think of like, what are things that are just more. I'm trying to be a realist, not an optimist. And
yeah,
or
they're really quiet right now.
They
like
are.
If you watch the mini direct, there's a lot of people still saying they have nothing this year.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean,
it's very possible. It's very possible.
Yeah.
They've hit us with 3 very solid years,
mm-hmm.
right? Well, this is the 3rd year. But, like, they've hit us, the past 3 years have been amazing in terms of content and what we got and all that stuff. And, like, and the beginning of the year is a masterful game, you know what I mean, with Animal Crossing. I'm
leaning heavily towards Skyward Sword HD. Like,
that could be one that would come out of nowhere and people would be like, "Holy cow!"
They said Zelda game every year. I don't see Breath of the Wild 2 coming out. So it's like, where do you go? I mean, Hyrule Warriors 2, like
No,
I don't think that would come out. Like, so it's
no,
Skyward Sword HD or the double pack. I would prefer the double pack
I would
personally.
too.
Or like, who knows, Majora's Mask.
I
Like,
mean,
I don't know.
let me ask you a question. Would a Switch Sports get you excited?
Yes, it would, Bobby.
like
That's my
if they were to
yeah.
come out and be like, here's an HD game, here is um, bowling and basketball and baseball and boxing and
That'd
like
be great.
all these different games that were really good on the Switch or on the Wii. If they were to bring them back, like
Even if they did like Switch Sports like winter and they did one like every season or something, that would be enough for me. But like we're talking big game. Not a lot of people like the motion control thing and stuff
yeah,
like that. So I'm leaning towards three. They're kind of pie in the sky type things. Skyward Sword HD, Mario Kart, even though I don't know.
that's the thing.
Or
I mean, could we get that stuff? Could it be Splatoon 3? Could it be Mario Kart 9? Like
yeah.
it makes sense to me to get those. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that's pie in the sky stuff.
Yeah. My original thing was Odyssey 2, but again, like they've been super quiet and I feel like Odyssey 2 would have been their E3 show floor, like
Yeah.
fully decked out. Maybe they're delaying a game. Maybe because of all this, what's going on.
Yeah. I
But
wouldn't mind seeing like I've said this numerous times. I would love if they would do this. I just don't see it happening. But I want Super Mario All-Stars 2.
oh my
And
God.
I want 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 games. If you want to throw in 3D World, go ahead, throw 3D World in, but I think 3D World could be a game all by itself.
All done in the Odyssey engine.
All redo those 4 games, man. God.
That
Dude, it would be amazing.
would be insane.
Like if they were to do something where it was a matter of like you could play this the original way, or you could flip a switch and play with the new way, and just fix the cameras, and like if Mario 64 got the camera fixed, that game would be fantastic.
That would be great.
It's hard to play now because we're so used to the controlling the camera with Mario. It's tough to go back to that old way.
As far as Zelda games, though, they could go and say, "Here's Zelda 2 remake." They could there's a lot that they can pull from. I don't see any original titles though.
Let's look at rumors, right? So rumors are there was a rumor at one time of a Zelda 2 remake.
Yep.
Or remaster of some degree, right? So that was number one. There was also a rumor of Super Metroid getting remade to some degree, or Samus Returns getting ported over to the Switch. There was a 2D. There's a rumor of a 2D. I mean, dude, if they really wanted to blow the socks off a lot of people, as crazy as it sounds, but if they were to do like an HD remake or like an HD remake of Mother 3,
Oh my God.
people would lose their minds.
Could you imagine?
People would lose their minds, man. That game would explode.
If you're Reggie though, you're kind of hurting. Like I feel like he always wanted to announce it for the meme.
You know, it's whatever. But it would be. Who says they don't bring Reggie in? Be like, Reggie, just make this announcement. Just go, hey,
That'd
one
be
more
awesome.
thing, and be like, he could be like, hey, I left the office a couple years ago, but I had one more thing I wanted to tell you guys. And this is it. Like,
That'd be amazing.
It would be amazing, dude. It really would be. It would be. So, I don't know.
We shall see.
We shall see. So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Nintendo Talk. Episode 121 is now in your ear holes. Be sure to check out everything that Pat does over on the internet. You can check him out on Twitter at NintenTalk. Check him out at youtube.com/NintenTalk. Check me out, YouTube, which you're probably watching right now, maybe. Who knows? But you can check me out on YouTube. You can check me out on Twitter, on Twitch, everywhere. Just go check me out someplace. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
See ya. Have a good night.